Yes, the title of my presentation is really all about viewing yourself as an electric energetic being and how it will enable you to understand that you can impact the flow of your body's electrical signals through your thoughts, feelings, emotions, touch, diet, and movement. So that's an overview. And I just also want to say that this presentation is unique since I will give an overall summary of my slides with the hope that you will dig down into the specifics of what I am presenting by reading the slides at a later time. Also, I am hoping that you will read my 2 free ebooks to obtain a broader perspective of my presentation. I am trying to convince you that understanding why and how you're using your electrical energies as medicine can enhance your health and well-being. Now, first, I would like to ask everyone, without thinking about it, wrap one hand around a finger and hold it until later in the presentation. So just grab a finger and hold on to it. You don't have to be real, don't squeeze it too much, just get a good contact. Okay, next. So we're basically trying to say that electricity is the, oops. We're trying to say that electricity is the language of the brain and body. Electricity is everywhere, even in the human body. If you want vibrational frequencies, I'm using the term electricity because it's predominates a lot of discussions. Next. So to give you a very specific reasoning why electricity is a fundamental language of the brain and body, I'm giving you all of this detailed information. And it's just something that you can go over and look into. And it's a lot of it's detailed, but it substantiates how electrically oriented everything in our body is. Next. Now, the phrase electricity is the language of the brain and body encapsulates the fundamental role that electrical signals play in the functioning of biological systems. Here's a lot of different information on that. Next. And you can go through this and go through the references. It's a lot of detailed information, but it substantiates what I'm trying to convince you in that taking attention to your electrical being is very important because it's such a dynamic that pervades everything that happens to you. Next. Interesting enough, there's a joint venture to tap into the idea that electricity is a language of the brain and body. It's by Alphabet, Google's parent company, and a pharmaceutical giant that has formed a joint venture to develop tiny implantable devices that can tap into and modulate the electrical signals transmitted by the body's nerves as a ways to treat chronic illness. You can read all about it. It's very fascinating stuff. We're on the cusp of having a lot of things happen electrically, as I'll talk about later on. Next. Now, one of the issues with my discussion and presentation is that I'm trying to tell you about a lot of things that are very dominant in your being, but you can't see this electrical activity with your eyes, even though it plays a large role or majority of what impacts you. We tend to put a large majority of our attention on focus on the very little that you can directly perceive. Thus, therefore, trusting in the notion that you can use your electrical energy as medicine is a challenge. Next. So here are a few examples of the way doctors use your electrical signals to measure and evaluate your being. And this is just some of them. And we're very familiar with cardiac pacemakers and EEGs and whatnot, but there are many others like this. And it's much like the network of interconnected circuits that run through your computer and those hidden behind the light switches of your home. Your brain and body communicate through this intricate network of electrical signaling, which makes it possible for you to move, think, and feel. Next. So recognizing the importance of relaxation can be a good starting point to understand that we are primarily electrical beings. Relaxation creates an optimal environment for unhindered transmission of electrical energy through your body. But if you go to a hospital, you see firsthand how relaxation is just not one of the top priorities in getting you well. But relaxation fosters a sense of ease that directly diminishes internal resistance, thereby enhancing the flow of your electrical energy. Put simply, when you're relaxed, the pathways for your electrical energy function much more efficiently, free from interference of stress-induced tension or mental distractions. Next. Again, there's a lot of detailed information that substantiates that relaxation plays a crucial role in optimizing the transmission of electrical energy throughout your body. You can go and read all of this. It's very fascinating stuff, but it's critical for me to give you a bridge to really start to recognize how important it is to act as an electrical being, as we're going to talk about in a few minutes. Next. So relaxation isn't merely a luxury, it's a vital necessity. It's not just about feeling good momentarily, it's the cornerstone for accepting, appreciating, and reclaiming control over the flow of your energy. By quieting your mind and soothing your body, you dissolve the resistance to the present moment, allowing for the optimal flow of your electrical energy. When your body is in a relaxed state, its innate harmonizing and self-healing mechanisms can operate at their fullest potential. Next. So there's a bunch of key benefits I've listed here. Key benefits of relaxation to the body. You can go in and look at this. It's well worth your time. Again, we're trying to get you out of a mode of thinking that doesn't put as much value in this. There's a lot of value in relaxation. All right, next. So a person's smile, you wouldn't think that it's as big as it is, but it is. A simple and most effective way to use your energy as medicine is to create a smiling face, which automatically creates three of the most important things for optimizing the flow of your electrical energy and health: appreciation, relaxation, and non-resistance with the world around you. Smiles improve your mood and the mood of those around you, because smiles release your happy hormones, and they are contagious because everyone's brain is wired to mirror that feeling. In my second book, The Energy to Thrive, I go into extensive discussion about how mirror neurons impact everything that happens to you on a daily basis. Next. So again, more detailed information, trying to reaffirm the power of a smile and the power of appreciation, the power of relaxation. Here's some more information to read at your leisure. Next. So we always have a choice. Do we reside in the rest and digest world, or do we fight, flight, and freeze world? There's two different worlds, but we're integrated with those two factors all the time. How do we handle it? But when we start to truly appreciate something, be it a sunrise, a kind word, or simply a breath, your brain releases a cocktail of feel-good chemicals like dopamine, oxytocin, and serotonin. These are very important chemicals, and they adjust your system to be in a rest and digest mode, or a fight, flight, or freeze mode. The more you fire up this electrical network through appreciation and relaxation and non-resistance, the more it strengthens, making you naturally more upbeat and resilient. Next. So one very specific way to understand this whole concept of the power of your emotions, feelings, and thoughts is to look at this emotional guidance scale. Now, as you see, when you work up towards the top of this scale, you have to be engaging your appreciative, relaxation, and non-resistant modes of behavior. It's that simple. And these signals influence your electrical flow of energy more than you ever thought. So it's essential to be intentional about your focus. Failure to control your focus means you're allowing it to control you. So this is a great slide to come back to and really ponder it and consider where you are, where you've been, how do you move up, how do you adjust your body and your feelings and emotions to engage these levels so that it can help you down the road. Next. So the electrical signals originating from your mental emotions states can significantly influence the body's electrical flow of energy. And here's a bunch of reasons why. And again, we're not taught to believe how much impact your mental and emotional states have on your physical being. And it's very, very powerful. Next. So bottom line, everything is energy. And using your energy as medicine requires that information, electrical signals, or impulses, such as thoughts, feelings, emotions, diet, exercise, imagination, and so on, are all contributors to your health and well-being. The optimal flow of your electrical energy is determined by what you focus on and pay attention to. So, what if you say to yourself on a regular basis, and I do this every day, some amazingly awesome things are going to happen to me today. I just make sure that that's a part of my day. That saying, when I focus on that, my energy and attention on positive outcomes harnesses the same mechanisms that drive the placebo effect. Next. Now, think of your thoughts and beliefs as operating on a specific frequency, much like we saw in that emotional guidance scale a couple of slides ago. These specific frequencies impact your life, much like the placebo effect, where the mere expectation of improvement can lead to tangible results. Now, the placebo effect is when a person has a response to a fake treatment. Let's be clear about that. And placebos are the most thoroughly tested medical intervention ever because it has been used by a vast number of studies that use placebo controls in their trials. Positive affirmations and the placebo effect both operate on the principle of the self-fulfilling prophecy. When you repeatedly affirm positive statements to yourself, you're creating electrical signaling patterns. Expectations of improvement is similar to a person who believes in the efficacy of a placebo effect. It's science. It's been around and is getting to be more and more profound, as we'll see in the next slide. Next. There is evidence that the placebo might be increasing in strength over time. Now, there's a lot of people making judgments about how this could be happening, but as people more and more understand the power of their expectations and how that works so powerfully in our bodies, it's just phenomenal. And so read this. This is very interesting stuff. It's about the mind-body connection. It's a significant role in your health. Next. Your expectations and imagination play a significant role in health and well-being. How significant? Hey, it can be dramatic, okay? The way I got into this whole gig of energy medicine, taking care of your energy, all of this came about when a therapist who was having very good success on my father, he was in the hospital and he needed help, and she was just unbelievable. And all she was doing was using her hands to help him. just the touch of her hands on specific points in chakras and energy medicine patterns helped my dad's really dramatically. So I asked her one day, how do I help myself? I need some help. I have a digestive issue that's been plaguing me for 15 years. She said, hold on to my thumb. Now, that was a leap of faith that I had to go into and really go, well, how do I not pay attention to what she's saying? She's having this amazing effect on my dad. 2 days later, after holding my thumb on and off, changed my life. So keep holding that finger until we get to a slide upcoming. Next. So other reasons why your imagination expectations contribute to the flow of your electrical energy, here they are listed. Get into this, look at it, play with it, experiment with it. But this is real stuff. This is not me just saying this. This is documented stuff that has references and documentation on it. Next. So we come to the point where what is non-resistance? So an electrical being needs to understand that when you feel there is something to overcome or fix, you are automatically creating resistance or non-acceptance in the flow of your electrical energy. Feeling good occurs when you are in a receiving mode, when there is no resistance to the flow of the energy in and around you, and it's powerful. The flow of your energies is optimized as soon as you treat everything as a learning experience instead of a means to an end. This is how you relax and enjoy the here and now. Next. Electrical resistance is something we all need to explore because we're primarily electrical beings. We understand there's electrical resistance in circuit breakers in your house and electrical circuits, feeding your toaster in your kitchen. Anyway, this gets into a more of an understanding about what resistance is all about from an electrical standpoint. Next. So conducting your own well-being, symphony, that's what it's all about. We're a symphony of electrical vibrations. So you can imagine the flow of your electrical energy is a vibrant symphony. Each note, thought, feeling, whatever you're eating at lunch is created by the electrical signals generated by your thoughts, feelings, actions, diet, exercise. As you become aware of these signals, you realize that some notes harmonize beautifully while others create dissonance. You go and eat a bunch of chocolate ice cream and, oh boy, that stomach ache is real, isn't it? But anyway, paying attention, what you're focused on is really, really important here. By tuning into these internal melodies, you gain the power to conduct your own symphony. The better you feel, the more likely you are to be playing a harmonious tune. And obviously, this takes some quiet time. It takes some attention to being able to focus on your inner self and really paying attention on a regular basis to what's happening in your body. Next. So imagining you're tuning into the frequency of well-being, just like you tune into the car radio dial. So imagining your thoughts and actions as electrical signals, you're constantly broadcasting. People feel it. You walk into a room and you know when people are feeling good or feeling anxious or they're about to get chewed out or something. It's something that vibrates throughout the environment. You are able to align your inner electrical energy with frequencies that match your desires and aspirations. So being able to have these desires and aspirations forefront in your life and matching up the kinds of feelings and emotions that support it, that's a very powerful thing. So you don't want to listen to the wrong radio station, so don't plug into the wrong feelings and thoughts. Next. So thinking of your actions, thoughts, emotions, diet, and exercise as choices. They are all choices. And they create powerful electrical signals. But what you really, really need to understand that these signals are so powerful, they draw in experiences that harmonize with it. Okay? So when you're in the down in the dumps, it's hard to get out of there because you're attracting down in the dumps feelings and exterior factors. So using your energy as medicine requires that you become an attentive broadcaster who generates electrical signals that attract and resonate with frequencies that nourish your well-being. Next. Now we get to why you're holding that finger. The power in your hands. Next. There is a compelling argument that can be made that humans' ability to use the power in their hands has been a key development in the evolution of mankind. Think about it. When humans started using their hands, like we can, humans could then craft and wield tools and create fine motor skills. The intricate interplay between hands and brains led to increased intelligence and adaptability. This is just something to ponder. It's that important. Your hands are phenomenally powerful. And that's another challenge I have. And we're going to try and shift your perspective on that by going into the next slide. Next slide, please. The electrical signals coming through your hands are powerful. There are 17,000 touch sensors in the human hands which detect mechanical stimuli such as pressure, vibration, or stretch. These touch sensors then convert and generate electrical signals that you can use to open up and energize the flow of your electrical energy. There is a hidden universe of electrical activity within your hand, which creates a vibrant tapestry of intricate electrical patterns. Using the flow of electrical energy from your fingers and hands activates and stimulates a symphony of electrical signals profoundly impacting your well-being in extraordinary ways. A couple of presenters ago went into chakras and energy patterns throughout the body in the biofield. These are all impacted by the electrical energy that you focus on through your hands. You have that much power to change the flow of your heart energy that has a certain pattern in the body, and it goes through your little finger. Anyway, we're going to talk about that more in a second. Next. So to further explain this hidden universe of electrical activity within you, consider recent developments in prosthetic arms. Through direct contact with a residual limb, as shown in this image, amputees can utilize their electrical energy patterns to control prosthetic arms, which emulate the complete dexterity and strength of a human arm and hand. Now, that is pretty phenomenal. We have machines that can translate those electrical energies coming out of this stub on the arm. It's just phenomenal. They're that dramatic and they're that impactful. That's why the Alphabet company is pouring in hundreds of millions of dollars into developing sensors that can work with the electrical signals in your body. Now, just as prosthetics can coordinate electrical energy patterns which transmitted with it via a residual limb, the 17,000 touch sensors in the human hand create electrical signals that harness your body's electrical energy. Next. So, for instance, using your touch as medicine triggers a cascade of physiological and emotional responses, such as the release of dopamine, endorphins, oxytocin, and serotonin. You know this by getting a hug. You know this by shaking someone's hand thoroughly. You know this by sitting next to somebody you love. These responses not only promote feelings of well-being, relaxation, and social connection, they also reduce stress hormones. Next. So using your energy as medicine can be as simple as using the electrical signals created from the 17,000 touch sensors in your hands. Using your hands as a musical instrument. Where the strings are out of tune, the sound isn't quite right, you can adjust things just by holding on to that finger. using your hands touch sensors is about optimizing your body's electrical energy system so everything is in sync, promoting health and vitality. Next. So how powerful are your hands? Consider that a single square inch of human skin contains the following sensors. This 1 square inch of human skin serves as a conduit for a vast array of electrical energy patterns that are well documented now. They're meridians, and they support all the different organs and different functions in your body. And they're electrical patterns that flow through your body. So when you go and look at working with your hands, next slide. We can see that, yep, oh, every finger has something to do with something. Oh, every finger relates to a meridian, stomach or spleen. Here's the other 2 meridians for your finger. So play with this. Now, also consider that you just held a finger for 10 minutes or so. What finger was it? You know, where does it play out in this whole scheme? So play with this, find out how you can enable yourself to interact, balance, and harmonize the flow of electrical energy in your body. Each finger is like a doorway to the electrical patterns that support your emotions and organ. I've been doing this kind of work for 25 years plus, and I still hold my fingers, and I get dramatically different responses every day from certain fingers. And it's powerful. This is like having a real healing mechanism right at your fingertips. Next. Okay, next, please. Okay, here's some more information, more ways for you to delve into the power in your fingers and your hands and all those touch sensors. Next. Again, here's how you create these electrical signals and pulses by just holding on to the hand, okay? Here's another way to look at all of these different attitudes and feelings and emotions. So to utilize this chart, identify the most upsetting or negative situation or person in your life and start holding the relevant finger. This can be a catalyst for shifting your opinions and judgments and moving up the scale that we talked about earlier, the emotional guidance scale. It's all about releasing stuff and moving forward, moving up the environmental and emotional guidance scale. Next. So another way to explain the power of touch is a study that showed that premature infants who receive 15 minutes massage sessions 3 times a day for 5 to 10 days gained 47% more weight and were discharged from the hospital 6 days earlier than non-massaged infants. Hey, you can't argue with this. This is fact. This happened. Next. The electrical signals generated by the touch sensors in the skin interact with the natural electrical energy in the following ways. More reading for you to get some additional perspective on what I'm talking about. Next. So let's move away from the hands, and hopefully you'll go back and study those charts about what fingers do what and how you might be able to utilize that information. Again, all of this information is in my 2 free ebooks. Now, harnessing the power of electrical foods is the next topic. The potato's ability to power a light bulb demonstrates how food can function as an electrical energy source for your body. Certain foods are rich in electrical charge, and I've listed a bunch here, and they possess a potent energy charge that can nourish, repair, detoxify, and cleanse cells within the body. Now, it's just a matter of realizing that raw organic foods can exhibit a more robust electrical field compared to cooked or processed foods. So experiment. look into this. Incorporate electric foods into your diet. Next. Now, here's some key foods that can help increase the electrical energy in the body. You can go through those. There's many more. There's a lot of more ways to skin this cat. And these are some great examples. Next. For other electrical attributes of food, including raw versus processed, pH, and acid versus alkalinity, download my free ebook and check it out. It's all in there. Next. Now, the connective tissue is something that you normally don't think about, but is possibly considered the largest organ in the body. It is a group of tissues in the body that maintains the form of the body and its organs and provides cohesion and internal support. Connective tissue is the structural glue that holds the body together. Next. Now, from our standpoint as electrical beings, we need to understand that your connective tissue has a liquid crystalline structure that acts as a main conduit for the flow of electrical energy through the body. So they have all these electrical signals have to flow effortlessly and very, very quickly through your body. Now, where does it go through? It goes through the connective tissue. So it's important to understand that when connective tissue is stretched, that enhances the conductivity of electrical signals along the liquid crystalline structures such as tendons, ligaments, and fascia. Therefore, stretching facilitates better communication between cells and tissues in the body. Stretching also does a lot of other things. Next. And I go into a more detailed explanation of how stretching enhances this connective tissue semiconductor-like properties. So we're like a semiconductor chip in so many ways. And it's remarkable how the signaling and energy transmission capabilities that go through the connective tissue is so important. So we got all these people stretching, okay? So it's that key to feeling good, being able to appreciate, having a non-resistant attitude and perspective on life. When you're flowing after stretching, as a result of stretching, when you're flowing that electrical energy, it gets to be a lot more of a dynamic life you're living. Next. I think we skipped one. Why stretching is more important than you can imagine. Here's a bunch of good reasons and why you should never stretch too far. All of this is very, very key. And you can go into the details here and hopefully get you psyched up to do some more stretching. Next. And here's some ideas on how to go about this stretching. Telescoping type of motion. Read this. This is important. You don't just go and stretch and push on the stretch. No, you have this connective tissue that's this liquid crystalline structure that's very delicate, but it also has to be very dynamic. It can't be ripped up, just like how they go about creating these computer chips. They have to do painstaking measures to keep it pure and not have anything happen to it. So it's just the attitude you take towards stretching your connective tissue is really, really important. So check out this information about how to do stretching in a very powerful way. Next. So grounding is something that maybe you've heard of, maybe you haven't, but we're electrical beings. The earth has electrical energy flowing out of it all the time. And walking barefoot on grass or concrete or rocks, it's a powerful thing. And again, it doesn't just hit you over the head like somebody throwing a brick at your head. It's something that's subtle, but yet dynamic. The energy coming through your feet, again, the touch sensors and and the sweat glands in the feet, which are very many of, thousands of them, facilitate this. We are just born and evolved to be on our feet barefoot. When you walk around with rubber shoes, it interrupts the flow of the energy from the earth. And there's a lot to be said for not ever missing an opportunity to be grounded, meaning putting your feet on the ground directly or on concrete or rocks. So this is something, again, I can only give you this idea and give you my enthusiasm because I know it works, because I can feel it, over time. But it's just one of these things you have to try out and experiment with. And read this information that I got here to try and give you more reason to go about it. Hey, there's tens of studies about grounding and heart health. There's all kinds of studies about longevity and grounding. So check it out. Dr. Laura Koniver, Koniver, is a very, very powerful advocate for grounding. She's got some great website information that you can really devour, and she's got tons of references. She's a doctor. Next. So here's how you have 250,000 sweat glands in your foot. Why does that make a difference? Because of all these different reasons. And they facilitate the touch receptors in your feet. So read all of this. It's great information, and it's powerful. It can be a powerful addition to your life to know why and when to ground. But next. Thank you. Okay, so here we are. These are the two books that I was referring to. This will give you a broader perspective on my presentation here, so that if you're interested, jump into this stuff. See what it feels like. But here's two ways to get free ebooks, okay? Give me a review, tell your neighbor about this.